Hey guys, okay, so I'm back with another Project Life DIY embellishments, and I really like, here I'll just give you guys an idea. I really like when you're using a card, right? You got a plain card, or maybe let's get one that's got a bigger image on it. So I really like when you have like this card and then maybe you add a little something to the top to point down, or maybe you put this on a picture. Maybe you're going to do some embellishments and you want to layer in some flags, or you know, maybe you want a couple triangles on there. Anyway, I really like having these little teeny tiny cork pieces to add to your project life, because they're the perfect size to add just a little bit of embellishment, and you only need a few to really tie your pages together. So this is really simple. I'm just going to take a cork sheet. This is Die Cuts with a View. It's a cork pad. One side has a sticker backing to it, so if you were to peel off the sticker backing, it would be a sticker, so you don't have to glue anything down, which is awesome. I found this at the thrift store. So remember in my my tag video, I said that I like to shop at the thrift store for things. Well, this is one of those things that I've found. Whoops, I just bumped you guys. Hold on. Okay. So we're just gonna do a couple really quick techniques. This is gonna be a pretty quick video. And I'm gonna show you what I like to do for Project Life. So we're going to start off by grabbing some punches, and I just grabbed a few that I thought would work for Project Life. I grabbed this starburst one and a hexagon one. So one of the things I'm showing you right now is that some of your Fiskars punches aren't going to be able to get the cork inside because the mouth of it is just not wide enough. So I was able to with the bigger Fiskars punch, but not with a couple of the smaller ones. So I'm doing some half shapes because I really like those shapes for Project Life. You can just tuck them up on the top or on the side like I showed you before. And I really liked the starburst kind of shape. You're going to see later on that I had some neat, unique ideas. I'm going to be scrapping or doing some Project Life spreads of 4th of July, so I had some 4th of July things in mind. And this Fiskars punch was a punch that I found at Michael's for like $3, and it's supposed to be flower petals or leaves to flowers, but you'll see in a minute what I do with that. Now I'm just going to trim off the edge to make it straight so that I can get some 1-inch banners. So I'm just cutting it at 1.5 inch by 1 inch, and then I cut it at 1 inch by 1/2 inch. And the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little square punch. Those two blue punches, those Fiskars punches, were the first two punches that I ever bought. Ironically, I bought them at the same time, but the circle punch doesn't have as wide of a mouth as the square punch. Go figure. So here I'm just going to show you how you can layer in your punches and make an outline. So I did my little triangle first, and then I'm going to take this bigger triangle and just punch out around the smaller triangle. And then so I don't have anything go to waste, I'm going to have some tiny hearts and some teeny tiny hearts. The smaller the heart, the more teenies that you have in front of it. So if it's an even smaller heart, it would be a teeny, teeny, tiny heart. And then I have a star punch. This one's just a tiny star punch. And then this Martha Stewart butterfly punch, which punched out the cork great. So I'm going to set all those aside, and then I'm going to take my hexagon punch and just notch out the ends of the banners there, and I use the same hexagon punch for both the 1 inch by 1.5 inch banners and the 1.5 by 2, or the 1 inch by 1.5 inch banners. 1 inch by 1.5, and then 1 inch by 1/2 inch. Yeah, that's what I did. And then I'm going to take those squares, I'm going to cut them in 4s so that I have some little photo corners. In the end, you don't see those photo corners because I did this technique on it and then it folded up in the middle, so it kind of warped it. But yeah, that's just the way to get photo corners, is by taking your square and then cutting it into 4s. So here we go. I'm making these little petals into little geo tags. Those are great for Project Life, for doing little pointing, and you know, we all use the geo tags in our Project Life. And then I'm going to take these little banners that I made. I'm going to take my tiny little hole punch and notch out holes on each side, because I'm going to string some baker's twine through those at the end and make those into a little banner. So not only are you going to get to see the cork shapes for DIY embellishments, but I'm also literally making DIY embellishments with the cork shapes. That made no sense. So some of them are going to be 3D and some of them are going to be like that little banner. So this was a really fun technique. I just used my Shimmers Acrytones paints. Now go to Spiegel Mom Scrap Shop and grab yourself some of these Acrytones, because Jody has them marked down. She's trying to liquidate them. So they're $3.99 in the shop. And then plus you can use my 15% off code, I believe, and save an extra 15% off. She's not going to be selling these anymore in her shop. So I'm just going to take the paint and rub it on, and I'm going to do this color blocking technique. I do really like to use the Acrytones on this because they are a self-priming paint, so they cover really, really great. Even the white covers great. And I could have done one more coat on it after it dried, but it turned out fine anyway. Added a little bit of added texture. You know that it's hand done. So right away, you're going to want to take the washi tape off. So I put those aside and I do that. And then here I'm going to go in with this pigment ink and my finger dauber, and I'm going to make this an ombre starburst or sunburst. And I thought that this one turned out really cute for summery spreads, which, you know, we're into summer right now, and so that's what I'm going to be focusing on. So the higher the pigmented ink that you have, the better. You don't really want dye inks because they could possibly bleed. So here I'm just taking this little banner. I'm going to put some washi tape over it to just touch the edge, or kiss the edge with that white ink. And this is stays on white ink. I hate those things. So those are Amy Tan's, I don't remember what line they were. Maybe they were American Crafts, but they're just these cute little stamps, but the image doesn't match up. And I'm so used to using clear acrylic stamps that I never even thought to look underneath it to make sure that it was headed the right direction. But I end up fixing the heart. I know that it's crooked, but I end up making it work in the end. So here I'm going to take this one. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put the washi tape on. Then I'm going to bring in that fuchsia colored ink back in to color block that. And I'm going to take my roller date stamps with some cute little phrases on it. So one of the things to remember about your roller date stamps is that you want it to be small, but you don't want it to be so small and so squished that it gets lost with the texture of the cork. And you'll see what I mean about that at the end. So I found this phrase that says priorities on it, and it's in all caps, and it's really well visible. So that one turned out really cool, and I'm going to put that aside and bring down another half circle. I'm going to color block that with another ink. This time I'll do black. And I just use washi tape that I know I have a lot of, and I will probably never use it. And then I go ahead and I date stamp on this one as well. And the date stamp didn't really turn out that great, but it says, "Oh, okay," on it. Now this little triangle, I'm just polka dotting, and I'm sorry I'm off camera. I have you guys zoomed in pretty good, and I forgot about that, but you'll be able to see. I know I do move them up into the camera. And this is my Uniball Signo white gel pen. Signo white gel pen, something like that. And I'm just taking the clouds and I'm outlining them and I'm polka dotting them. And then I'm going to take, this is where you'll see that the smaller the phrase on there, it will not show up as well. So I'll probably end up just going back and turning that whole geotag black. But I'm glad that I did it. So this was that way that you guys could see not to do it. So this was a really fun idea that I just came up with. I know that there's wood shapes out right now that have half wood and then half enamel. So I just took some of my nail polish and made these into enamel and half cork. And I took some of my really better quality nail polish so that it would like self-level. And then I also used some lower quality nail polish, and the lower quality nail polish turned out just fine as well. And that way you guys got an idea of the cheap nail polish versus the higher quality nail polish. So this one I ended up color blocking once, and then I had to wait for it to dry. So in just a second you will see that I went ahead and finished it, and I'm going to go ahead and go back to the real-time feed so that you can see the finished project. Hey you guys, so this is my finished project. I really love how the nail polish turned out on these little embellishments. So I'll just do some stamping here when I want to add it to my project. And I really like how this little red, white, and blue banner came out. So I was keeping in mind, see how sparkly it is? Focus. I was keeping in mind 4th of July, because I'll be doing that in my project life. And so some of these will work really well in there. And I might not use everything, but I can always pass it on to somebody else. This one was really fun. This was a 3D layered cork embellishment. So I just took those little stars and stamped them and then stuck them down, because remember it has a sticky backing on it. But I really love how that one turned out. I think I'm going to make some more of these 3D ones in the future. This one is also 3D. Remember I stamped that heart and the image was wonky on the bottom of the stamp, so I didn't get it straight. So I just added another 3D, another cork heart punch here, and then an XOXO. This would be really cute for a Valentine's Day, but you know, XOXO and love is all year round. So this is what I meant by making sure that you use the bigger phrases on your stamps, because even though you can see it when you're close up, it's still hard to read on a layout. It's too close together. So I might just go ahead and go over it with black ink. And then here was that ombre effect. That would be really cool layered with some word phrases on a summer layout. And then these little pieces here with the nail polish that I had done some color blocking on. Let me see if I can get a good angle for you. So it looks like it's half enamel and then half cork. And I really liked how those turned out. And this one I just waited for that first pink coat to dry and then masked it off again to do the aqua color. Super cute. I just love the different texture in that. So that's it for my DIY embellishment videos. Thanks so much for joining us for this quick little DIY embellishment week, and we'll be back later with some more projects. Bye!